गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So we are in the 5th chapter of the Pancadasi Mahavakya Vivek. We have seen the Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma, we have seen Aham Brahmasmi, and now the fifth verse begins with inquiry into the third Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. And this chapter is about how to contemplate on the Mahavakyas so that they become meaningful, they make us go back to our own essential nature. So here in the 5th verse, Ekemeva dvitiyam sat Ekemeva dvitiyam sat Nama Rupa Vivarjitam Nama Rupa Vivarjitam Srushte Puradhunapyasya Srushte Puradhunapyasya Tadruktvam Taditiryate Tadruktvam Taditiryate Ekameva Dvitiyam Sat Nama Rupa Vivarjitam. That one without a second. Sat. Sat is that reality, that Sat Vastu, that absolute truth. It is Nama Rupa Vivarjitam. It is without name and form. Srushte Puradhunapyasya. Before the creation, Srushte Pura. Srushte Pura means before Srishti, before creation, it was there. And even after the creation, Tadruk Taditiryate. Even after the creation, it has not undergone any loss. This is what is meant in this. That Vastu, that Sad Vastu, that reality, that truth, which was before and which is after, and is not affected by the presence or the absence of the creation, the Srishti, is that Tat, is that reality. How beautifully it has been told. The one pure existence which is devoid of all types of differences was before the creation. The pure existence without change in its nature even after creation. This pure existence is referred as Tat in Tattvamasi Mahavakya. So this story comes in the Chandogya Upanishad, where this mantra comes, the Mahavakya comes. There, Shwet Ketu, he is the son of a great teacher, and he has gone to, the system was, you send the child to the student, to the Gurukul to study under the teacher. He went, studied there for 12 years, and after 12 years he came back. So the teacher asked, what did you study? The father asked the son, what did you study? He said, everything. Achha, you studied everything. And he said it arrogantly. All new brahmacharis are arrogant because they just passed out from the course. So he says, did they teach you that by knowing which everything is known? Did they teach you that by knowing which everything else is known? He thought for a moment. He says, I think my teacher did not know that. So he didn't teach me. He didn't teach us. But now, in him, inquiry has ignited. That my dad knows something more than my teacher. See? My dad knows something more than my teacher. So he asks. And that's how the father says. He doesn't say, no, like our Swamiji says, no argument, no discussion. No argument, no discussion. You are that, Tattvamasi. Now go and find out. Now go and find out. So this fellow goes, Shvetketu goes. After 1 year of sadhana, he comes back. I came to realize that is this body. And I am that. He says, then you all understand, body is changing, body is not permanent, body is decay, growth and decay is there. He says, no, that is not the truth. Again, go away. He says, I am the prana. So that is the prana. No. I am the mind. No. I am the intellect. No. I am the Anandmaya Kosha. No. 6th time he doesn't come back. The father knows he's got it. He doesn't come back to confirm. So in this way, this 12-year period is very significant in our sadhana. They usually say one tapasya is equal to 12 years. One japa must be done for 12 years. Then it becomes a siddh if you do it regularly. You be after it. Another thing that is okay. Then now the teacher says here that what is this tat? That tat, the sat vastu, the truth, the substratum, which is immune to all changes. It does not undergo any change. Everything else will change. But now the question will be, the doubt can come to a person's mind or a student's mind, which student who is acutely listening, which student who is inquiring, not only in satsang, but in his own free time also is continuously inquiring. For to such a person it will click. What is that? He will have there can be two ways of looking at it. And what is that? The first is that if Sat was before creation, does that mean was there creation at a particular given time? Huh? So when we say Srushte Pura Adhuna Pyasya Tadruktam Taditiriyate, means before creation truth was, after creation truth is. So is there a point at which the creation begins and ends? Isn't it? That is one way of looking at it. So the teacher says here, no, it is like saying, now here the example of snake and the rope is being taken. It is being said that before the snake appeared, the rope was, after the snake disappeared, a rope is. Isn't it? So, does that mean that the snake is a reality? If we say in the statement, before the snake, the creation, the reality, the rope was, and after the creation, the snake, the reality is, the rope is. Was there rope before a snake? Yes. Was there rope during the snake was being perceived? Yes. Was the rope after the snake vanished? Yes. So what is the substratum? What is the substratum? Rope. See? But why are we afraid of snake then? Because we don't see the rope. Do you get afraid before the wave ocean is, during the wave ocean is, after the wave ocean is? This is your perception, isn't it? This is your knowledge also when you go to the ocean. But do you give too much value to the wave? Because your attention is on the ocean. You know this will come and go. If you have the same attitude with the snake and the rope, you will not be afraid of the snake. But we don't. We give attention to the snake and not to the rope. We are not able to see the big picture. And therefore the fear sets in. In case of ocean and waves, we know the waves are coming and going, but ocean is the substratum. When we see the snake, we don't know that the rope is the substratum till we get the right vision, isn't it? So what is a snake then? It is a appearance. It is an appearance. Exactly like that, this whole creation that we are in or experiencing, I shouldn't say that we are in, that we are experiencing, is also an appearance. Don't take it too seriously. If you take it too seriously, then the question will be of survival. Then the question will be, I have to make ends meet. Then the question will be, I have to provide for my old age. Then the question will be, I have to have to keep the right relationship with all the people around because we have to survive in the society. The more you do having these type of thoughts, your body identification is solidified. Then you are not living the truth. As much as you are thinking about these things, that much time you are away from the truth, away from the substratum. The more you think about the world, the more is equal to the more you are thinking about the snake, not about the rope. Why? While living in the world, our attention is not on the substratum. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We keep searching, not knowing that you are the substratum. That's why Tat Tvamasi. See? So this overhauling of our perception, of our knowledge is required. And this cannot be brought about by just attending satsangs. Along with attending satsang, self-enquiry has to take place. Only you, each one of you can bring this change about. No amount of listening will do it. Because you have heard Tattvamasi so many times. You have heard Prajnanam Brahma so many times. It has to click from inside. So this Tattva, this Satvastu, it is Nama Rupa Vivarjitam. Where is this Nama Rup? It is in this appearance. It was a rope, but you looked at a snake on the rope. You look at ocean waters, but you look at a wave with a form and name. You are actually looking at reality, but you are not looking at reality because our attention is on names and forms. Give yourself 1 week, 10 days of holiday. Don't focus on any name and form. Don't think about anything. No, if any name and form comes in your mind, move away. What's next? This is not the truth. Then who am I? See? But you have to give that time. This time I met a person in India. Every year for 15 days or 15 days to 1 month, he will take a day off, take the leave from work, and he'll just move around, move around as nobody. He goes to some state where he doesn't know the language. He'll live in an ashram, he will maybe a day, then he will go around, he'll beg food here and there, or those bhandaras are there, he'll eat there, keep doing his japa, keep doing his sadhana. After 1 month, then he comes back. A great servicing for the ego gets crushed. You come back to yourself in that process. So from the Sat point of view, from the rope point of view, from the ocean point of view, are there any names and forms? I'm asking the question. From the Sat point of view, the ocean point of view, or the rope point of view, are there any names and forms? Not possible. From the point of view of the absolute, from the totality, it alone is. It is not aware of the appearances. See? Sun is not aware of day and night, which appear because of it, but they are not the reality. Whatever comes and goes is not the reality. So similarly, from that absolute point of view, we are talking about, in this verse, we are talking about Tat, we are not talking about Tvam. From Tat point of view, there is no appearance possible, there is no creation possible, there is no names and form possible, because everything it alone is. Ocean will never say, I have all the waves in me. No, I am. That's it. Story over. In and through every wave, ocean is expressing. So how can it see a wave separate to itself? It cannot. How can you see your arm? You are seeing a name and form of called arm or fingers, but you don't perceive it as separate to yourself. You say, it's me, isn't it? So in this way, the illusion does not illusion or appearance or pratiti or the superimposition. There are different words that are used. From absolute standpoint, they stand no ground. They are not there. And coming to recognize this while living on a daily basis, that all these names and forms that I find myself surrounded by, they are essentially the truth. Don't give too much importance. The more importance you give them, the more importance you are giving to the snake. You will become afraid. Then question of survival will come. Get out of that survival mode. Where there is names and forms, there is beginning and end, then cause and effect is there. Then you are caught up in cause and effect. If I do this, I will get that. If I do this puja, I will get that result. If I do this tapasya, I will get this. You have to get out of it. Because you are already that which you are seeking. Isn't it? You are already that which you are seeking. So when we contemplate on Mahavakyas, it is bringing us straight back to ourselves without any beating around the bush. And in this way, therefore, in creation, there is no creation of new matter or energy. There is only conversion or transformation. That Sat, which never changes, but which supports all changes, and in which creation and destruction cancel each other, is Ekam one, and it is one without a second. This is that Sat. This is that Tat Pada. Tat Pada. In our inquiry, we call it Tat Pada Shodhanam, Tvam Pada Shodhanam. Shodhanam, searching for, inquiring into. This is inquiring into the Tat Pada. Recognizing that it is the substratum. It is the changeless principle. It is supporting all the changes. And it is one without a second. Now we come to the Vakya, the Mahavakya is Tat Tvam Asi. Now still Tvam and Asi are left. So what are they? That is taken in the next verse. Shrotu dehendriyatitam Shrotu dehendriyatitam Vastvatratvam paderitam Vastatvatnatvam paderitam. Is it Tvanna? Tvanna. Anna. Atra. Vastvatra tvam paderitam. Vastvatra tvam paderitam. Ekata grahyate siti. Ekata grahyate siti. Tadaikyam anubhuyatam. That which is other than and unlike the body, senses, etc. of the seeker, that witness is referred by the word tvam, and the word asi establishes the oneness of tvam and tad. The seeker of truth should experience this oneness. How beautiful. So here it is being told that what is this shrotu dehendriya titam? That which is other than the body and the various senses. Shrotu means the listening and the smelling and the seeing and the tasting, etc. etc. Vastvatra tvam paderitam, and that which is other than this body and the senses, that one is the one which is being talked about as tvam. Because isn't it your experience that you are experiencing the body? Isn't it your experience that you are seeing the body? Isn't it your experience that you are experiencing the breath coming in and going? Isn't it your experience that the feelings are coming and going, various emotions are coming and going? Isn't it your own experience that various concepts, ideas, thoughts are coming and going? So if you are experiencing all this, you are experiencing the body, you are experiencing the various senses, then how can you be that? The experiencer has to be other than the experienced. So that one in whose presence the thoughts come and go, because you don't make the thoughts come. Thoughts appearing by themselves. You don't make emotions come. They come by themselves. You don't make breath come in and out. It comes in and out by itself. You don't make the body grow and become diseased or become healthy. It continuously changing of its own accord, according to its blueprint. You are noticing all this. It is happening in your presence. Somewhere you have got the equation wrong and you say, I am the body, I am the breath, I am the mind, I am the intellect. But the truth is, you are the experiencer of all this. It is happening in your presence. The childhood, the teenage, the youth, the middle age, the old age, all this is happening. You know that it has happened in front of you. That's why you are able to talk about it, isn't it? If it was you, then you cannot talk about it. If you ask the sun, what is heat and light? What will he say? What will he say? What are you talking about? That which is your own nature, you are not aware of it as an experience, isn't it? It is not, you cannot experience it other than you. So sun cannot know what is day and night, heat and light. But if you say, I am the body, I am the breath, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am the thoughts, I am the feelings, etc., etc., and you are talking about it, that means you are not it. You got something wrong somewhere in your thinking, in your relationship with this equipment. Because if you are that, you cannot talk about it. You can only talk about that what you are not. Very, very important point. You can only talk about that about that which you are not. And what you are, you cannot talk about it. So this is one big difference. So you inquire. What am I getting caught up in? Am I getting caught up in body? But I am not the body. When I think about the body, my attention is on the body, not on the one in whose presence the body is able to exist. When I am talking about the senses, my eyes are not seeing properly today, my ear is not hearing properly today, my tongue has ulcers, my nose is blocked, I don't know what has happened. To that extent, your attention is away from the one in whose presence this whole equipment is functioning. And inquiring into this means tvam pada shodhanam. So in the previous verse we did tat pada shodhanam, talking about that substratum. Now we are coming to the individual self and we are seeing what is the substratum of this equipment that we have taken to be the I, and correcting what our position is. Is my position at the gross body? Is my position at the subtle body? Is my position at the causal body? Or is my position as the witness of these three bodies coming and going on a daily basis? Isn't it? Gross body is this mass that you see. Subtle body is the senses and the mind. Causal body is silence. Whether you look at it from this point or you look at it from waker, dreamer, deep sleeper point, it all comes to the same thing. The waker, what am I talking about? The gross body identification in the waking state is maximum. In the dream state is little bit less. In the causal state is almost negligible, isn't it? Deep sleep state, dream state and waking state. And where do we feel the identification? Not in the other two states. We feel it more in the waking state. So sadhana has to be done in the waking state. Then it may percolate and continue in the dream and the deep sleep also. So what does tvam pada mean? So here, when this vakya is told, a few things have to be prerequisites by the student. What is that prerequisite? If a person comes cold, very rare few are there, like Nisargadatta Maharaj, the first time he heard from his teacher in Bombay, Tattvamasi, this was the vakya which was told to him. He says, what do you mean by Tattvamasi? The teacher explained, and 2 years later, Nisargadatta Pan Bidi shop vendor became a realized master. 2 years later. See, he went after it without a break. He locked himself up in a room. No, I have to find out. It must, if he has told me he is not gaining anything. So it must be the truth. Wherever there is a gain by telling something, then it is not the truth. Then it is a story. Then you are taking that person for a ride, for some purpose that you want to fulfill. But when there is no hook, there is no catch, and he is a businessman, Nisargadatta Maharaj. So he says, there is no catch, there is no hook, then he must be telling the truth. And he went and came to know himself. See? So what are the two requisites that are required? First is Shraddha, in the words of the teacher and the scriptures. That what the scriptures are saying and the teacher is saying is true. Another Shraddha should be that yes, I can achieve this. This goal that the scriptures are showing me through the teacher, that I am that. The scriptures are saying, you are that. Yes, I am that. This deep intrinsic faith that I have what it takes to be that. I have the ability to transform. I have what it is required so that transformation comes about. It's not that I'm going to transform myself. Transformation is going to come about. But I have the staying power. I have the steadiness of mind. I have the faith. I have the dedication that is required. I have the capacity not to get distracted by any doubts and confusions that come along the way. I will hold on to that Tatpada. I will hold on to that Tvampada. See? When this ingredient is not there, then we can hear Tattvamasi 100 times, still nothing will happen. But if it is there, very rare. Like in Nisargadatta Maharaj, from a shop owner, suddenly a realized master. Because that deep faith was there. And this is where we are lacking. We hear, we talk, we are that, but we don't realize that we are that. We are going around in circles. We are already that. So, that one is Shraddha, and the second I said the commitment, isn't it? The commitment that I will not get distracted while I am in the pursuit of this truth. It is not that one leg in the boat of the world and one boat on the realization. Nothing is going to happen. You cannot run after two chicken and catch. You cannot. You have to run after one. You want to have a balance here also and a little bit. So it's a feel-good moment, a feel-good situation that I take satsangs and I do things in the world also, and I have got a good balance. People speak like that. I've got a good balance. I'm spiritual also, I do pujas also, I do archanas also, I do chanting also, I do satsangs also, and I do pilgrimages also, and I go to Kailash also. I earn money also, I take care of my kids also. All that is good. But we have to find a way that we can only come by intense introspection. How? In and through every activity that is going on in my life. And it is not invoked by me, it is happening. Sleep comes, waking happens, pressure comes, hunger comes, everything is happening. You are not saying that, now I am hungry. Hunger comes, then you say I am hungry. How I can remain in and through every activity 24 hours a day, aloof from the activity. As the witness, always being in that poise of presence, that I am the witness of all these activities taking place. I have got nothing to do or undo in this activity. Let it unfold. I have got nothing to do or undo in this activity. Flow with life. Let life flow through you. Let life flow through you. But when we take charge of our life, that's where we go wrong. So dehendriya atitam vastu atra tvampada eritam. Tvampada. So deha tita vastu, that means that which is beyond the body identification. What is beyond? Where do you experience the body identification? In the waking state. So that which is beyond the waking state, in whose presence the waking state comes and goes, that I am. Recognize this. And don't stop there. Don't stop there. Even the subtle body, all the emotions and feelings, meaning the dream world, that also comes and goes. I am the one in whose presence they are coming and going. All the feelings are coming and going. All the past is coming and going. All the future desires aspirations, ambitions, they are making themselves known and then going away. I am that presence. Dehendriyatitam. So just by these two words, Dehendriya, the dream world and the waking world, has been indicated that you are the one who is beyond these two. That is the Tvampada. To bring this about, there are, Swamiji is saying here, there are two techniques. One is that you become so intensely engrossed into the inquiry of who is this, what is this presence, who is this I, who is this I? Like Nisargadatta Maharaj did. He locked himself up in the room. He did not allow the worldly appearance to come and clutter his mind. He kept inquiring into the I, or Ramana Maharishi also, who am I, and eventually they came to the self. And same way here, only then, when we inquire not on the world, but we be the witness, not look into the witness, you be the witness. How long you have to be the witness? Tell me. How will you know that you are the witness? What is the symptom? When you are no longer disturbed by what is happening in the waking state, then you are the witness. When you don't lose your poise, whether great success comes or a great failure comes, you are sthita prajna. You are undisturbed. You are not swayed away by the smell of the pizza when you are driving in a car, nor you are swayed away by the stink of the roadside garbage. You remain in that poise. When you start seeing yourself that I'm not swaying as much as before, it's becoming less and less and less, and that is what wisdom is. That as we grow old, people become teenagers in 50s. Huh? See, I went to Spain many years ago. One 63-year-old having a girlfriend of 17-18-year-old. This is not wisdom. Wisdom is that as we grow old, we become immune to what the world has to offer us or not offer us. That is the sign of wisdom. This is the first way. Then we are awakened to ourselves. It is a possibility that will happen to us. Because only when the mind stops getting disturbed by everything, in that quietened mind, the self is, accessed. Because how do you know the self? You only know it as I, isn't it? So this I is continuously identified with these three. And as these three, the fluctuation of these is becoming less and less, the I will separate itself at a particular point. Because this I has never been attached to these three. It is not possible. It is only imagining that it is. So if you see that you are not swayed by the world, disturbed by the world, agitated by the world, excited by the world, depressed by the world, understand whatever you are doing or not doing is working. Come back to be yourself. And the second one is taken from another angle. When the consciousness gets identified with the body, The whole waking world is created with its three components of the waker, the waking experience, and the waking world existing simultaneously and being mutually dependent. So the waker, the waking world, and the waking experience is mutually dependent. If you remove the waker, the world will not exist for you. If you remove the world, the waker will not exist. If you remove the senses or make them numb, that's what people do with drugs, etc., etc., automatically the waker and the waking world lose their hold. See, how do we interact with the world? The waker interacts with the world through the waking, through the equipment. If that equipment is made weak, the interaction between the waker and the waking world, that becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. And that is what tapasya is for many people. That is what japa is for many people. That is what inquiry is for many people. That is what pranayama is for many people. That is what intoxication is for many people. Purpose is the same, to separate the two, so that there is no identification possible then. So in this way, who is knowing this? You can sit down. Who is knowing this? Who is knowing as I am speaking, as I am seeing through my senses, as I am formulating the ideas to express, as you are listening? You know listening is taking place right now. I know speech is taking place right now. I know while speaking that spontaneously the ideas are coming in my mind. I know all this, isn't it? You know that listening is taking place. So even while listening is taking place, you are the observer of listening. For listening to take place, the listener, the listening, and the equipment, which is the ears, isn't it? Oh, sorry, listener, listened, and the listening. But even though these three are there, yet you are there who are noticing that listening is automatically, spontaneously taking place. I am not doing or not doing anything here. See the beauty. And if you can come to be that person, so in this is second technique, that this process of experiencer, experienced and experiencing is taking place. It's a phenomena which is going on, and it cannot go on if I am not there. In my presence, this is taking place. See, the more you become aware of this, automatically you will come. You are already, if you come to this moment, at this moment, if you notice that listening is taking place, speaking is taking place, seeing is taking place, you are already in your own presence. You are already at the Tvampada. But it's fleeting because our mind has not settled down yet. But you are already there. So in this way, we come back to our self, the witnessing self, in whose presence the body, breath, mind, intellect, etc., waking, dreaming, sleeping, all these various states and various worlds and the various personalities are coming and going. That one I am. And in this way, in the previous verse, in the fifth verse, it was talked about Tat Padashodhanam. What is that substratum? That substratum which is independent of the appearance of names and forms, or non-appearance of names and forms. No names and forms can appear without the truth underlying it, without the Satvastu, the principle of existence. So that is at the totality level. Then at the individual level was the Tvam Pada Shodhanam. But the verse says Tvam Tat Tvam Asi. Asi is also there. What is this Asi for? Asi is to link that this witness that you are is none other than that existence principle, the truth principle, the absolute reality, which is the substratum of the entire creation, of the entire names and forms. And in this way, don't think you are the witness and the truth, the reality, the God is somewhere far away above the clouds, in the temples, in the books, in holy places. He is there also. But the first place that he is there is, where is he? He is with you, as you, not other than you. Recognize this. And for this word Mahavakya, Tattvamasi is being told to us. How is this? So another thing is told here, that when it comes to coming to the witness, the who am I inquiry, Tvam pada shodhanam, you do the Vedanta sadhana. When it comes to Tat pada shodhanam, what do you do? Not Vedanta sadhana. You do Bhakti sadhana. So be ruthless, be totally unemotional when it comes to determining who you essentially are. So, it is very easy for us to succumb to body needs, very easy to succumb to hunger and thirst, very easy to succumb likes and dislikes, very easy to succumb to pain and pleasure, very easy to succumb to someone, gives us praise or insult. We react to people who give us insult. We fall prey to that. Very easy to do this. So, through Vedanta sadhana, I am not the body, I am not the breath, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am the one who is witnessing all of them. Come to this conclusion. In your case, in Tvam pada shodhanam, don't practice bhakti. No devotion there. It has to be cutthroat. It has to be clinical. It has to be like a doctor removing different parts. You have to do that to yourself. But when it comes to recognize that this Tvam itself is the total. And where is that total? That total is expressing as the whole world only, isn't it? But our attention is not on the names and forms. Our attention is on the one behind, because of whom these names and forms are there. There the devotion works. There the faith works. Otherwise we have been indoctrinated from childhood that God is other than us, isn't it? That He is in the heavens. But here Tattvamasi says that Tat Pada, that is the substratum of the total creation, is none other than the witnessing self of this body, breath, mind, intellect, equipment. Recognize you are that. So he is not saying, the teacher is not saying when he says Tattvamasi, that you, the ego self, is that infinite. No, he is not saying that. He is saying you. When he says you, that you does not mean the ego personality. It means the witnessing self, which is independent of the body, breath, mind, intellect. That witnessing self is the Tat, is that reality. In this way, inquire and realize. Bolo Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. So here, now the third word Asi in the Mahavakya is dealt with. Ekata grahyate asti iti. The word Asi indicates the oneness between the two words Tat and Tvam. This is the meaning of Asi Pada. That is you. See, this is how beautiful. I keep chanting this mantra. Hamsa Shiva Soham. Soham Hamsa Shiva. Sa Shiva Soham Hamsaha. Huh? Hamsa in Kashmiri Shaivism, Nath Sampradaya, Hamsa means what? It is the Twampada. Shiva, the Tatpada. Hamsa Shiva Soham Tattvamasi Mahavakya. Hamsa is Soham, is like the Shiva. Hamsa Shiva. Soham Hamsa Shiva. There Soham is acting as Asi. You got it. Soham is acting as Asi. How beautiful. Never thought of it, but it clicks. Sa Shiva Soham Hamsaha. The third verse adds one extra aspect to this, the Shakti aspect. Sa. Sa Shiva Soham Hamsaha. That Shiva is not other than me, and I am not other than the Shiva. Because Sa is used where? For feminine, isn't it? So Sa Shiva. Shiva is Shiva, and Ardhangini is also called Shiva in many places. So Sa Shiva. So Shakti is not other than me, and I am not other than Shiva, which means all three are one alone. Hamsa Shiva Soham. Soham Hamsa Shiva. Sa Shiva Soham Hamsaha. So in this way, recognize this Asipada. We talked about the Tat, we talked about Tvam, and this Asi. It brings about the unification of the Tvam and the Tat Pada. That those two words, that Tat and Tvam, they are in spelling they may be different, but what they are indicating is one and the same. Don't start thinking, oh Bapre, Tat is the substratum of the whole creation. My God, whole creation, it's so vast universe. Tat Pada, Tvam Pada, oh substratum of body, breath, mind, intellect. My God, this witness is equal to that total substratum. It's overwhelming, isn't it? Change the enquiry there. Whole world is where for you? Is it only the waking world? Then it is overwhelming. But what is your experience of the total world? There is waking world, there is dream world, and there is deep sleep world. So your total experience of the world is divided into these three worlds on a daily basis. The substratum of these three worlds is the same as the witness of this body, breath, mind, intellect. Comes to the same. When we think only about the gross world, then the cosmos is very big. Change. At that moment, use your whatever you have studied, heard, to make it more, to make it click. And in this way, the Tat and Tvam, they are one and the same thing. Tat Aikyam Anubhuyatam. May you realize this identity between Tat and Tvam. The verse said Tad Aikyam Anubhuyatam, the last word in the 6th verse. So may you realize that's a blessing by the teacher. Tad Aikyam Anubhuyatam. May you realize. That means you have not realized yet. For that, what you have to do? You have to balefy papad. You have to make papad. You have to do tapasya. You have to have shraddha. You have to have single pointedness of purpose. You have to have intrinsic faith, as I told you before. Intrinsic faith, a deep-seated faith that it is possible. I don't have to die and come to know that I am that reality. Even right now it is possible because I already am. It's just that my mind is a little, I am identified with unwanted things. Let the mind be identified with unwanted things. I am observing that the mind is. Immediately take back your own power. Don't leak it, allow it to leak it into the mind. For this, regular practice is required, regular meditation, regular pranayam, regular contemplation, satsang. Then it starts slowly, just like now this car which we have in the garage, we forgot to take the connection from the battery. So it has gone flat. Now we'll jump start it. But after jump starting, will it start and continue to run all the time? No, I'll have to recharge the batteries. To recharge the batteries, I have to take it for a long drive. And I have to make sure that whenever I come and park, I don't keep the light on or I don't leave the door open. And I must drive it on a regular basis for next few days so that the charge comes up. Exactly the same thing it does also. Coming to a satsang, going to the doing pranayam, etc., etc., etc. All this is recharging your batteries. The goal is presented in a satsang. The tapasya that you do, that is your recharging. You are making what you heard in the satsang, the goal that was presented, you keep your mind focused on that. For that, whatever you are required to do, you do. If you don't do it, battery will become flat. See? So, regular practice is necessary. And that is called sadhana. Sadhana. So, what is this sadhana? With respect to the individual self, be very strict with your niyam, with your daily practices. Morning meditation. Arey yaar, the World Cup is going on. I'll do the meditation after the World Cup final is over. That is the meditation is the first thing to be sacrificed. No. Hold on to the sadhana. Don't go to sleep till whatever you have fixed for yourself during the day you don't complete. You must. With regards to yourself. With regards to the reality, with regards to the world, have the love, the faith, the devotion. And in this way, the twofold. One is you cut, chisel, carve out yourself from yourself to be the witness, and on the other hand, to recognize that this witness itself is the ultimate reality, is the path of devotion and faith. So when you are moving around in the world, don't react to the world. See it as your own expression. Then there will be less reaction. Then will be less friction. Otherwise, whole life we go on with reacting and lighting many fires around. There will be never a complete solution. Look at what all the various saints and sages have done in their life. This is what they have done. Every Mahatma has gone away for some time from everything and then come back. Even I'm just taking the example of Nisargadatta Maharaj, 2 years in the room. But after that, it didn't matter where he is, because he knows, truth I am. Nothing was going to disturb him anymore. And in this manner, first you remove your identification with the body and you remove the sense of otherness with respect to the world. Because whole world is just either you can say an appearance, or as you come back to your own self, you will realize the whole world is your own vibhuti, is your own expression. Then whom are you going to fight against? See? So this, in these two ways, two-pronged approach, you practice, and in this way, a point comes where the otherness, the sense of difference, the sense of otherness, which is the root cause of all the problem that we of the individuality, that becomes weakened and eventually it gets eradicated. When the last bit of sense of otherness goes away, there you are. This is how Mahatmas are living. Does that mean that when we experience the sense of oneness, otherness is removed, the world will not be anymore? Will that be that the world will not be anymore? World will still continue. You will still be having a waking experience. The realized master also has the experience of the dream experience or the deep sleep experience, but he is not disturbed by any one of them. The ocean, once you have realized that ocean is expressing through all the waves, do the waves stop appearing on the ocean? They still continue to appear. But now you have understood. Once you understand that the entire names and form, the entire creation that you see and experience is an expression, is coming out, is because of the substratum. And that substratum I am. Like ocean knows, I am the substratum of all the waves. When you come to realize that you are the substratum of the entire creation, waking, dream and deep sleep, will you react to everything that is coming and going? We have given undue importance to the waking state. Therefore all our problems. Then, when this happens, then there is masti. Then there is unabated joy for no reason. See? Then such a person doesn't say, I wish I had that, or I wish I had that situation, I wish I had that teacher, or I wish I had studied that book. No. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect as it is. He does not solicit change. He accepts everything as it is. Again, the three words. He accepts everything, he rejects nothing, but he retains also nothing. Such is the state of such a master. And that potential is in every one of us. In every one of us. And in this way, as the student or the seeker keeps practicing this two-pronged approach to the truth, one is at the individual level to be the witness, and one at the total level to recognize that substratum is not other than the witnessing self. Slowly, as this non-reactionary attitude, this sense of otherness starts melting away. Sense of otherness is not in the world. Sense of difference is not in the world. Sense of otherness and difference is only in our mind. That's all. Once that mind goes through this transformation of recognizing that everything is my own expression, then the teacher who comes in your life, you created that teacher to teach yourself. All the Mahatmas that you have met, it is your creation. Don't, अरे यार वो तो उनके सामने ऐसे ही बोलना है कि हम आपके, and you must believe it also. But in your own thing, at a very deep level, if pushed, no, I am the source of everything. And every Mahatma that you have, that comes into your life, it is the expression of that same self to remind you that, hey, how long you are going to live in ignorant life? So they keep coming into our life. We get so close to certain Mahatmas, and they have, the only reason they have come into our life is to shake us up, to jump start us. But हम भी पक्के हैं, हम उठ जंप स्टार्ट ही नहीं होना चाहते. That is the only purpose. In this way, as the sense of otherness becomes less and less, to that extent, directly proportional to that, the sarvatmya bhav, the pervading, all pervasiveness of the self, that will become self-evident. You will start, just like a mother sees or a father sees himself pervading through the child. Don't stop there. Mahatma Gandhi saw himself identified with the total India. Mahatmas see themselves expressing through the total creation. That is Sarvatmya Bhav. That is Sarvatmya Bhav. Then such a person, just by, if like Shirdi Sai Baba, if the dog is hungry, he gives the food to the dog eats food, and he feels fulfilled. Why is that possible? For a common man, dog is separate to Sai Baba, but from Sai Baba's point of view, who is established in the Absolute, he is pervading everything. So if one person's hunger is satisfied, Sai Baba's hunger is satisfied, isn't it? So this is the impact of the Tattvamasi Mahavakya. The surest, shortest, direct way is keep bringing your attention to the life principle, be aware of the awareness. Be aware all the time. Don't be aware of the world. Be aware of the awareness itself. What is this life? What is this life force that is functioning when I am moving my fingers, when I am seeing, when I am hearing, when I am tasting, when I am thinking? What is making the thoughts come and go? Someone must be pushing, that's why they are coming. Who is that fellow? Who is behind them? I am knowing that the thoughts are coming. Who is this fellow who knows? Keep coming back to this life principle. Keep coming back to this conscious principle. Answer is not in the world. Answer is not required in the conscious principle, because it is all-knowing. Right now, if you feel you are not all-knowing, is because you see yourself as a product of the world. The day it clicks that you are the consciousness, you are the conscious principle, you are the substratum, the foundation of the entire creation, no questions need to be answered, because that self is all-knowing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We'll just sit quietly for 5-10 minutes in meditation. Contemplate on what was told. Don't try to seek what was told and think. Whatever comes to your mind first, follow that strain without stressing yourself out what was told.